In today's video, we're gonna show you how to meal prep 70 pounds of ribeye roast. Hey, what's up family? I'm Joe and I'm one half of Two Crazy Ketos. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like product reviews and we do recipe videos. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch. Now you can find us on all kinds of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we have a website which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're gonna find all of our different recipes. Now we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit that little bell button. This way you are notified every time we do something like buy 70 pounds of rib roast. I mean, look at this. Is this not a beautiful sight? I mean, if you are a meat eater, 70 pounds of rib roast. And I bet you're wondering why we would buy 70 pounds of rib roast. Well, first of all, the word crazy is in our name for a reason. But honestly, the real reason is it was on sale. I mean, Rachel and I have talked about all the time, you need to shop the sales. Don't be brand loyal and just shop the deals. There's a reason that we have 3 deep freezers and we have a food dehydrator and we just recently purchased a freeze dryer, and we also love having different things for canning and vacuum sealing because we shop the deals. And one of the best ways to shop deals when it comes to meat is around holiday time. Rib roast is a traditional holiday meal, so a lot of times stores put them on sale, and our Publix had these on sale for almost $10 off a pound. They were $6 a pound. So we bought 70 pounds, and honestly, I'm probably going to buy more. But I bet you're wondering, what do I do with 70 pounds of rib roast? I'm gonna show you. We're gonna meal prep some of this. I'm not gonna go through all of it because that would make this a really long video, and we're trying to get better at having shorter videos. I should probably stop talking to do that, but I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna meal prep some of this. And there's a lot of different things you can do. We're gonna start off with a prime rib roast or a rib roast. And I bet you think that you can't actually meal prep that, but you can. I've actually learned this from my good friend Chris Bear, who taught me this because he has a large family and he shops deals as well. And so that's where we're gonna start off with. Then we're gonna get into some other things. So let me put all of this away. I'm gonna put it into the refrigerator as we film this video. Okay, we're gonna start off with the rib roast, and this is super simple. Really, all you need is some seasonings, and then if you want some kind of binder, a couple things that I like to use as binders is the Frank's Red Hot, as well as yellow mustard. And we're actually gonna do a couple of different ones. So we're gonna do one with nothing on it, and then we're gonna do one with some yellow mustard, and then we're gonna do one with the Frank's Red Hot. So what I do is we'll start off with the one with nothing, and I think we'll take, let's see, we'll do this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some Redmond's kosher salt. You definitely wanna use kosher salt here, otherwise you run the risk of having a saltier meat. And what you wanna do is just go ahead and coat the entire thing. Now, this rib roast actually does still have the bones on there, and I'm gonna leave them on here for this purpose, but you can take it off, and I'm gonna show you that when we get to the next one. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our Redmond's organic garlic pepper, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cover the entire thing in it. And again, I am gonna get a little bit down inside of there. Just wanna make sure everything gets coated, especially focusing on where the meat is. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is work on the one with mustard, and so we'll just choose this one right here. I'll put this one towards the back so you can see it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take some mustard and we're gonna just put a little bit. You don't need a lot, just a little bit on here. And we're just gonna kind of rub it into the meat. This will bring a little bit of flavor, but for me, it's more about a binder. It really will help to adhere your seasoning to your meat. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to add some salt. Now you'll notice I'm only using one glove, and that's because when I mess with the mustard and all that kind of stuff, I don't really want to get that all over the salt container. Whenever we do this, I do go back with like antibacterial wipes and wipe down all of our seasoning stuff after I cook. Just, because, you're touching raw meat and then you're picking up the salt and all that kind of stuff. But for like doing things like these rubs, I just like to keep them separate. Okay, now we're gonna work on the last one, and this is gonna be the Frank's Red Hot. Almost put the wrong thing on. So we're gonna add a little bit of Frank's Red Hot, same thing as the mustard. We're gonna just rub this into the fat cap and then make sure we're getting it into all of the meat. You don't need a lot. This isn't gonna make the meat super hot, because what we're gonna do now, once we've got all these seasonings on here, is we're gonna go ahead and put this into the refrigerator and let it dry brine overnight. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these rib roasts and I'm gonna stick these into the refrigerator, generally overnight, but you can go as long as 48 hours, and they're really gonna end up with a nice little crust on here and just get super tender. Okay, I have those rib roasts in the refrigerator. We're gonna throw those into the smoker tomorrow, but I have two more right here that I salted yesterday, and you can see, look at how gorgeous these are. You can see how the color changes from sitting with the salt overnight. These are gonna be absolutely delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these now into the smoker on low, like 170, 180 degrees for about 3 or 4 hours. Now you don't want to cook them. What we're looking to do is get some smoke flavor in there. This is meal prepping them. This isn't cooking them for our dinner. Now, if you were cooking for your dinner, you could leave them in there until you get to an internal temperature of about 128 degrees. But what we're doing is we're gonna meal prep these and then freeze them to cook them later on. So we're gonna stick these into the smoker. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw my meter probes in there because I wanna make sure I don't overcook them, and I'm gonna pull them out if we get above an internal temperature of about 110 to 115 degrees. Next up, steaks. Yes, you can turn your rib roast as well as other cuts of beef into steaks, and many times save a lot of money. Many stores charge a premium for prepackaged steaks, but all those are the roasts that have now been cut down. For example, this rib roast was $5.99 a pound, but if you go into the same store right now, ribeye steaks packaged are $12.99 a pound. Now, Publix, where I purchase these, will actually cut this into steaks for me, but sometimes stores don't want to do that. So we're gonna show you how to turn this into the steak that you want at the exact thickness, and all it takes is a good knife. So I actually am really impressed with these rib roasts that I got from Publix, because you're gonna see they have already cut down along the bone. So take a look at that. So all I'm gonna do now is take my knife and slice off these bones. But I'm not gonna throw this away because there's a lot of meat on here, and this will make some really good beef ribs. Now all you need to do is slice this into the thickness that you're looking for, and you can do this a lot of different ways. You can actually use a ruler and measure it out. You could do it by eye, or you can even like use these labels and just kind of like lay it out. It's completely up to you. I'm looking for steaks that are about 1 1/4 inches thick, and I'm just gonna kind of do it by eye. What I like to do is look at it and figure out like how many am I going to get. A lot of times you have the lines from the rope, and that will help. So I can already look here. If I roughly go by those lines, I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steaks, and that's what we're gonna go with. So I'm gonna start off here and just cut here. Now the key to this is a sharp knife. You wanna kind of dig it down and try to get it through in one fell swoop. You don't want to like make a whole bunch of cuts if you don't have to. It's really going to depend on your knife though. But look at that, that's a gorgeous piece. And we're just going to keep going until we've gone through all of our rib roasts. So look at this. These are just gorgeous steaks. Let's figure out how many steaks we've got here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 plus that little one, plus I have 3 pieces of beef ribs, which this is another meal for 2 people in itself. Let's figure out how much each one of these steaks roughly weighs. We got our scale over here. We'll just pull off this one right here. 16 ounces. So Each one of these, let's see how good we are, just randomly pull them off. 14.6 ounces. So each one of these is going to be roughly a pound, 19 ounces. So super excited about that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some vacuum seal bags and we're going to seal these up, 2 per bag because that's Rachel and I, but you can do 1, whatever you want. So what I ended up doing was actually individually doing the steaks because a lot of times the boys want to have a steak and when they go to defrost it, there's 2 of them. So now I end up with 1 steak that's like defrosted. Maybe we don't want to eat it that day. So I figured it was just easier to do them individually. These bags only cost a couple of pennies, so I don't mind doing that. So I've got my JVR chamber vac here. We're going to go ahead and just put the steaks in here. And we're going to use our normal setting, which is like 30 seconds vacuum time. And we're going to go ahead and seal all these up. Steaks are all vacuum sealed and labeled. I buy these little labels online and they're really great because all you do is just stick it on there and label it. And so I have this all labeled as ribeye and I vacuum sealed them on 12/12. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 steaks, each one of them roughly a pound. And so again, most places that's like $13 a pound. So significant savings doing it this way. So these are going to go into the freezer now. And then I've got one more thing that I want to show you that we're going to do with one of the roasts. And then we'll have to wait for like everything with the smoker. Okay, we've got one more roast here. Any idea what we're going to do with it? First thing we're going to do is get off all this butcher's twine. And we're going to cut off the ribs on these. And I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to do with these ribs because I'm going to use them for dinner tonight. I'm going to push this off to the side. And you guess it, we're going to slice this meat up and turn it into carnivore chips. Okay, so the way I do this is I've got these parchment sheets. It makes it super easy to separate these later. We're going to go ahead and set everything up. Put our meat in, and this one is a little bit bigger, so we're going to have to leave the piece up for a minute. Turn it on, and let's give it one slice and see if that's thick enough. And that's exactly what I want. So all I'm going to do is I just slice them and then grab papers and go down the line. Okay, so everything is all sliced up. This little bit of meat that's left over here, this is gonna go into my meat scrap bag. I have a bag of just scrap ground beef, scrap beef like this, from trimming, stuff like that. Keep it in the freezer, and then once it's full, I turn it into hamburger meat or hot dog, sausage, whatever I want. So this is all of the pieces that I have. We're gonna go ahead and weigh this up. So let's see, we got 39 ounces. This one is 40 ounces. So we've got roughly 80 ounces of shaved beef for carnivore chips. Now that's gonna turn into like 35 to 40 ounces of actual carnivore chips, which if you figure out the cost of those at $40 for 5 ounces, that would be a lot of money. So, because we're gonna have roughly 8 batches there. So what I'll do now with this is I will put this in the freezer, let it harden up, and then once everything is frozen, I go ahead and vacuum seal it. This way they don't get all smushed together. One thing I should have mentioned before, it will actually slice easier if you put it into the freezer for about 30 minutes before you throw it onto your food slicer. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clean everything up, and then once the meat comes off of the smoker, I'll show you what we do with it. So I almost forgot one more thing I wanted to show you. What do we do with the bones? These are ribs. These are beef ribs. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce. Again, don't have to do this, but I think it makes a really good binder. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit on each one. And now what we're gonna do, you guessed it, take a bunch of the Redmond's organic garlic pepper, and cover the whole thing. So I'm gonna stick these into the refrigerator and we're gonna cook these for dinner. In the meantime, I'm gonna take a shower and then head up and pick up Rachel in the RV. Okay, the rib roasts have been in the smoker for about 4.5 hours. They're reading an internal temperature of about 112 degrees. So I went ahead and pulled them because again, this is just a meal prep. I wasn't looking to cook them all the way. And they are gorgeous. I mean, take a look at these. They smell delicious. The fat has started to render down, but there's a nice like bark starting to develop on these. So like I said, we're gonna meal prep these. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take these and vacuum seal them for later use. And now we have 2 rib roasts that are gonna go into the freezer. So these are meal prep because when you're ready to cook these, you can just take them out, you can put them into an oven at a very low temperature and roast them, or you could do it the way we're gonna do it, which is sous vide. So Rachel isn't home yet, but the ribs are done. Pulled them right out of the sous vide, and we're gonna go ahead and just cut one of these off and take a look at them. Wow. Look at that. These are perfect. They're very hot. We're gonna go ahead and give this a taste. Wow. They're perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put these into the oven at like 180 degrees and just let them sit until Rachel gets home, and then she'll have something to eat. Now when it comes to actually cooking your rib roast, you have a couple of options. You could put them on a tray and put it in your oven at a very low temperature until it's completely done. If you're doing that, you're gonna have to defrost it first. Or if you have a sous vide, you can cook it right from frozen. So if you have one in a bag and you have an immersion sous vide, all you gotta do is take this and throw it in the water, or preferably transfer it to a silicone bag, or you can actually even put it into the Innova sous vide oven. So I took mine out of the plastic bag and I'm gonna stick this into the Innova sous vide oven at 130 degrees for about 14 hours. Look who decided to join us for the last part of this video.
Well, I feel like I had perfect timing. Wouldn't you come home to this? I mean, I'd be like, wait until this is waiting for you.
So we've got our prime rib or rib roast, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it a prime rib, even though it's probably only choice because it's cooked like a prime rib.
Let me tell you, it smells amazing here.
So take a look at how gorgeous that is.
Oh my goodness.
So we've had it in the sous vide for about 16 hours. We're going to go ahead and just take off the string.
Oh, it smells so good. I'd eat the string.
Now, this actually has the bone in here.
Okay.
We can just take this off like this.
Look at that.
You can actually put that back in the sous vide and make it just like beef ribs.
Wow.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. So ready. How tender is this? This is crazy.
Ready?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm like drooling right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is crazy beautiful. That's insane.
Grab the scale over there. Let's see what one of these pieces weighs. What do we normally get? 16-ounce prime rib?
16-ounce prime rib.
There's the 13, now 16 ounces before cooking. So
that's right. I think 13, we're right at it.
7, 13.4.
Okay, so 13.7 is what I'm eating.
Or I
can have that one.
19. We used to eat 20-ounce ones.
That sounds like a Rachel one.
Let's have a taste test before we end this.
Dink it.
Dink.
Dink. Mmm. Cooked to absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely perfect. Oh my goodness. So stinking good.
The smoke flavor, just enough.
Mm.
Super tender. I mean, that's the way to do it.
That is awesome.
And that is how you meal prep 70 pounds worth of ribeye roast.
Wow. That's a happy chore right there.
Well, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we've linked right over there. Also, make sure you check out our most recent video that I'm gonna put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time I come home to delicious, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.